Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 21 Bridges Languages podcast, where language learning meets real life. I'm your host, Andrea Wilson, founder of 21 Bridges, and I'm here to help you and your student feel confident in Spanish and beyond. Today's podcast episode is all about who 21 Bridges is and why it exists. I can't believe I forgot to introduce my business to the world. I was so excited to start a podcast that I hopped on here and started to talk about AP Spanish and how to make language learning fun. And I didn't even realize I didn't even introduce 21 Bridges Languages podcast to you all. And I sure didn't explain why we even exist. So quick background, my name is Andrea Wilson. I am a tutor. I've been tutoring since 2014, so that's a good solid 11 years. I started tutoring after coming out of Peace Corps, Guatemala, and I saw a need for Spanish tutoring. There's a huge learning curve in students who begin Spanish 1, especially our inner city youth, because it is a required subject. However, there aren't a lot of tutors out there that are accessible to our inner city youth, especially inner city Black youth. So I found that I was one of very few tutors who can help with the grammar component of Spanish. And a lot of the youth that I was tutoring were failing Spanish, but passing every other subject. So I decided to work pro bono out of a church where I tutored students specifically in Spanish 1, then branched out to Spanish 2, eventually Spanish 3. And then in 2021, I decided to form an LLC called 21 Bridges LLC. And so that's where we're at today. I love teaching people Spanish. I love encouraging people to learn another language. In fact, while I was in the Peace Corps, I taught English as a second language to a group of professionals outside of a non-for-profit organization called Medical Teams. I also taught English in schools adjacent to the work that I was doing within a health clinic within maternal and child health. Fun fact about me, I've technically been teaching languages since 2013. My Peace Corps experience definitely shaped my ability to start 21 Bridges, because upon coming back from Peace Corps, I was fluent in Spanish, and I wanted to share the culture that I was just immersed in upon returning to the U.S. I had been gone outside the U.S. for a little bit over 2 years. By the time I made my way back, I had reverse culture shocks, and I had a weird time integrating back into the American society, and I wanted to share a part of what I grown to love in the Peace Corps with the world, but it's really hard to explain the Peace Corps experience and to share that in a way that is appealing and beautiful and all the things. So the easiest thing to do was for me to start 21 Bridges Languages, or at least what I would come to know as 21 Bridges Languages, and I began to tutor students in Spanish. And we've been doing that ever since. I say we because sometimes I do have the blessing of having a team that works alongside me. The mission is simple: to bridge the gap between students and their full potential through language education. So why Bridges? Why 21? So the business was started in year 2021. And there are 21 Spanish-speaking countries across the world. And the bridge is, we want to be the bridge between languages and people. It's as simple as that. This podcast is for students taking Spanish, especially at a college level, but also parents who want to support their youth who want to learn languages. And last but not least, educators who are looking for a little bit of extra resources and extra perspective outside of the school system. We can offer that here on this podcast. We offer weekly tips on Spanish grammar, vocabulary, and culture. We have real life stories. We hope to have different guests on here who live in other countries and to hear their stories about why. Success strategies within the school and many lessons. We want to encourage and build confidence among our language learners. Spanish is something that we focus on here at 21 Bridges, but we support the learning of all languages, especially in a world today where culture and differences within America is not easily accepted. We want to be the place where people can come and feel comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable and comfortable with wanting to immerse oneself in other cultures. It's really important that our youth grow up in a world where people from different countries is a beautiful thing and not seen as a threat. So, here's a few places you can follow 21 Bridges Languages at. You can follow this podcast to start off with. You can also find us on Instagram at 21 Bridges Languages. You can find us on LinkedIn at 21 Bridges Languages, and you can visit our website at www.21bridges.us. We're also having, we'll be launching our AP Spanish boot camp and a few other virtual resources as the show progresses. We hope that you'll come out next week to learn more tips, tricks, and to hear different perspectives on why language learning is important. Until next time, thanks for listening, and let's build bridges to success together. Adios, que tengan un buen día.